Copper breaking out to new all-time highs this week. In this show, I'm going to give you my strategy for copper. I'm going to show you two copper stocks if you want to get into the copper story right now, and one copper stock you really need to pay close attention to. Let's get right into it. Welcome to Hot Trades of the Day, your show for swing trading ideas for the coming days, weeks, and month. Welcome to Hot Trades of the Day. My name is Daniel Wilhelmi, and where everybody, including us here at Hot Trades of the Day, are celebrating the strong days, the reversals in gold and silver. The copper investors are looking at us and are like, hold my beer. How about all-time highs? Incredible, and nobody's talking about it. So let's take a look at copper, and you can see, okay, we got a tough reversal candle today, right at the upper end of this uptrend channel that copper started in the third week of June, and this resistance zone, all-time high resistance zone. RSI close to being overbought, so no surprise here that we should expect a pullback, at least to the middle part of the uptrend channel. So that would be something around 6,575-ish. We also have this resistance zone right here as well. That should, yep, that checks absolutely out. There we go. And this support zone, pardon me, this support zone. If we break lower, we go to the lower end. But what I really like about this setup is we got pretty much blue sky potential in copper. But if we get in here at the midpoint or at the lower end of the uptrend channel, we got the 50-day right below it. We got pretty good protection to the downside. And we all know the fundamentals who are clearly bullish on copper. But here's the really interesting play. The copper stocks, because of the weakness of the mining sector overall, and especially the gold and silver miners, have not really moved, with very few exceptions, as the copper price has. That is where the real value right now is in the mining sector. Gold and silver miners are great, but the real value play right now is in copper. Because as you can see, copper wants to go higher. It's going higher. If we get a correction, it's going to be short term. It's going to be basically just taking a breather, and then it's going to come out of the corner like Mike Tyson at his best days and going to punch this resistance zone in the face and break right through. Now, let's take a look at some of the copper stocks in comparison and see how these guys are doing. Because you would think that, okay, well, if copper is doing all-time highs, the copper miners must be doing great. Not really. This is the COPEX, the copper miners ETF, and as you can see, we are way below the all-time highs. We haven't even sniffed the all-time highs that happened, not the all-time highs, the highs from June. Interesting. Now, it has improved dramatically. We're above the 200, we're above the 50-day, right? Looks better than a lot of the gold and silver miners. But still, considering where gold and silver are compared to where copper is, that looks like a really yummy value happy meal happening right now. So let's take a look at two copper stocks that I have on my watch list that might be interesting for you if you say, I want to get into the copper action like now. I don't want to miss it. The first one, Firefly. Not very well known because fairly new company. As you can see here, came to the market end of 2024, had a nice run. I talked to management at PDAC Then hasn't really done much in all of 26. And now we built out some structure. We broke this downtrend. And as you can see, we're above the 200 and the 50-day together. Jumped above it today after we got rejected yesterday. If you believe that copper is going to go higher now, I mean, we got gap fill right here, right? There's a lot of upside potential for Firefly. Now, obviously, who I really like is Amerigo Resources. If you watched the video on Amerigo Resources about a month ago now, right? Man, time flies. Spoke with them at the Rural Symposium. Really like this story. I'm not going to recite everything here. You can go back and watch the video. I would recommend you do it. That's a really, really cool, interesting, unusual story in the mining sector. And as you can see, yeah, we just made new highs. So remember when I gave you the video, I said, if you really want to be in, first buy zone should be at the 50-day or gap fill right here, this red line. Well, that worked out perfectly. So anybody that saw the video said, what this Schnitzel guy is saying makes a lot of sense to me. I'm going to do my own research. I like this stock, and I'm going to use the price point that I pointed out because that makes sense to you. I'm not your financial advisor. I don't know what you come up when you look at the charts. That's what I looked at, and that worked out perfectly. Now, second and third level haven't hit at all yet, right? Not even close. Why? Because we reversed right after we got a nasty fake out with a break below the 50-day, triggered all the stops. The smart money gobbled it up and we broke out. And as you can see, we closed on a new high. Doesn't get more bullish than this. If you're a trend following investor, you are loving this chart. You are loving this chart. This is the #1 copper chart that you go to if you're a trend following investor. Okay, so those two buy signals right now, really interesting. You might also want to wait if you think we're going to get a correction in copper, which I think will be short-lived again. But if you look at a copper chart, makes a lot of sense. The third copper stock that we obviously need to talk about is Freeport-McMoRan. And as you can see, it's explosive. We can adjust this line a little bit and basically move in the second line right here. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really change much because what we are talking about is Freeport-McMoRan is getting ready to break out to the upside big time. 200-day tested basically twice and held. This support zone here held. As you can see, basically in 2026, we have been going sideways, but we have been making higher lows, which is very interesting and makes sense now that we know what the copper price did and is doing. And the 200 held. And we jumped over the 50-day, the purple line again. This is a super, super interesting chart. And what you need to understand is this is the #1 go-to of institutions when they are playing copper and the copper sector. Because a lot of Wall Street are not going to buy up copper as a physical metal. Some will, but the majority likes to play it through equity. So they're going to look at Freeport-McMoRan as the biggest copper play, as the #1 play. They're also going to look at Rio Tinto, obviously, but that's not a pure copper play. Predominantly, but not pure. So they look at Freeport-McMoRan, and we break through here, there's going to be a big buy signal flashing green all over Wall Street. And this is a stock that's almost 100 million US. So this is where even the bigger hedge funds and the bigger players can invest decent amounts with good liquidity. This is going to be a ripper for a blue chip if we break out to the upside. So there you have it. Shorter video today. It's Friday. But if you like this content, if you feel, hey, this brings me ahead of the market, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos. Like the one that I did a month ago when I talked about Amerigo, where the buy limit triggered perfectly. Sometimes it triggers perfectly. Sometimes you miss it. That's life. That one worked out great. Great story. I highly recommend watching that video again. But also, keep an eye on Firefly, but really keep an eye on Freeport-McMoRan. Yes, if copper does a short-term correction, we're probably going to get this gap fill. We're probably going to get a test of the uptrend for sure. Maybe the 50-day undercut gap fill here, fine. But that's all within reason and completely fine and normal. And that will be then if copper, after it's taken a short-term breather, if it chooses to do so, right, breaks to new all-time highs, Freeport-McMoRan, gonna be a runner. I definitely gonna keep that one on my watch list as well. So don't only pay attention to gold, don't only pay attention to silver. There's another party going on in the mining sector. It's copper. Have a great start to the weekend. It's going to be a good weekend. I sure hope so. I'll be at a festival. And, well, it's also my birthday. So who knows what's going to happen. I see you on Monday. No video this weekend because, you know, birthday boy has better things to do. But Monday, we're back. And then we will look at the weekly candles. Gold and silver. Super interesting what's going to happen there. Until then, have a great one. Bye-bye.